Over the years, there's one video everyone wanted me to make, and I didn't really think I should. But if we're suspected to be leaving MK11 behind this year for Mortal Kombat 12, I figure I should just put this on my channel as, you know, kind of a legacy. So this video will be my complete Scorpion guide in Mortal Kombat 11. Let's start before we even get into a match, and that is variations. I'm fairly convinced now the most competitive variation for Scorpion is the teleport cancel and the amplified spear for more damage. You get extra damage on all your strike throws and your combos, and strike throws are, you know, Scorpion's bread and butter. Also, if you plan on playing at a high level, you're going to want teleport cancel. You can mix in air sin blade instead of the amplified spear if you want to, you know, have a little bit more fun in Combat League and stuff, but this is Scorpion's best class in the game. If you aren't going to be using teleport cancel, which I understand some people, you know, they find it a little difficult to get the hang of. I know I did back in like 2019. You can use Air Sin Blade, the Amplified Spear, and the Air Demon Slam. This covers your anti-airs, this covers, you know, extra damage on strike throws and combos, and gives you the style factor with, you know, the Air Sin Blade. The only switch I would make to this class is if they're not jumping and you're playing like Kung Lao or something, I would actually change the Demon Slam into the, you know, spinning spear. That way you can kind of space out Kung Lao because he has like no way to punish that. Also, thank you guys for all the subscribers recently. It means a ton. And if you're here for Road to Rank 1, that will be my next upload, so don't you worry. All right, now we're gonna go into buttons for Scorpion, and this is how I tend to play him. It's probably not perfect, but at a high level, I'm what, like top 300? It seems to work. Your most important buttons in the game are your stand 2, which is the stand Y right here, and your stand 2-1. Which is, you know, YX. This is because if you look down here at the block advantage for a stand 2, on block, you are still +3 after you use it. If you don't know what plus and minus frames are, basically when Scorpion uses stand 2 and the opponent blocks it, it is still Scorpion's turn. So for an example, if you want to come up and strike throw, say, you know, you have the amplified spear going, you can go stand 2 into the grab because it is still your turn. And the opponent had to basically guess, and you got 16.5%. This is compared to what a lot of people do, where they try and stagger 1 or 1-1, which is your X button on the Xbox. So these two moves right here, people try and stagger that, which isn't correct because that is technically minus. That is your quickest punish button, but it's not the button you should be throwing out all the time. If you look at stand 1 right here and look at the block advantage, it's actually -2. So yeah, you're negative on this. It is not your turn whenever you get that blocked. All right, my next tips in terms of buttons, it is going to be your stand 4 right here. It's -3 on block, so it is safe, and it has an 11 frame startup. So it's slower than your 1-1, but it is still a very fast button. It looks like this right here, you know? You've probably seen it a million times before. It is also your most damaging button. So when you're doing any combo, anything that starts with this will be your highest damage. But what I see a lot of Scorpions do is whenever Sub-Zero does something like this, they go for a 1-1 punish to start their combo. You need to recognize what are hard punishes or long punishes for Scorpion because you can get your max damage. So say I have this and Sub-Zero, you know, takes a slide at me. I can punish with stand 4. And if he has no breaker, I just got a 45% combo, you know, right off rip. So make sure you're punishing, you know, like longer moves with stand 4. That includes Scorpion's teleport. You know, that includes a lot of things. Just anything with really long recovery, make sure you're using stand 4 to punish it. So the next controversial move for Scorpion, or probably his most, is his forward 4-2-3. This move right here. It is super unsafe, but very good at low level play. The second hit right there when I go for the overhead, that has a flawless block gap. So, you know, Sub-Zero could flawless block punish it. And it is also -10 on block, meaning most 1-1s will punish it as well if they react quick enough. It's difficult, but it can be done. The reason it's more difficult, even though it has technically more negative frames than this one right here, is because people are waiting on the third hit to happen. And, you know, you kind of miss your punish by a little. But speaking of that, this full string is punishable as well. If you use it, Sub-Zero is getting a full combo. So what I recommend to most players at almost all levels of play, you know, because the majority of the player base cannot flawless block, is you need to pick up teleport cancel to make this string viable. So what you would do is see if it hits. If it doesn't, on the second hit right there, you want to teleport cancel out to make yourself safe. So this is what I mean. I have Sub-Zero set on randomly blocking. I never know if it's going to hit him. So he blocked that, I canceled out. If I go for another one right here, that hit, so I teleported into it. And you can sit in training mode and just set, you know, the opponent to randomly block and practice making sure you always get the right, you know, timing, depending on if Sub-Zero blocks. Yeah, it's pretty simple, kind of like that. I don't think there's much to say about this string right here. It's Scorpion's, you know, kind of go-to string. It's great for backdash punishing, so, you know, you'll come in like that, and instead of, you know, staying forward with Sub-Zero if it gets blocked, what you want to do is hit a tiny backdash like that and cancel the backdash into your back one, and you'll catch a lot of like down one, so Sub-Zero will try and like take his turn back by throwing out a down one. You hit that micro backdash and do back one, and you ended up punishing Sub-Zero like that. Also, I better never see you do this one right here online. I see low-level players do it. Just stop using that one. Use back 143. This one right here only. This, not worth it. It's not even a mix-up. Scorpion's best poke, in my opinion, is his down 3 right here. I use it a lot. I would say, like, you know, fairly often, and it has just really good hit advantage, so it kind of jails, so you could go like that, and if it hits, you can jail them into the 1-1. So if they hit any buttons, you know, you're getting your full combo. Kind of like that. I just can't time it right now. And you'll see me do this a lot in Road to Rank 1. I kind of cheese that down 3 into grab, especially on hit, because again, they think it jails, so they're waiting on the 1-1. And then lastly, in terms of buttons, his far hitting back 2 string. Don't use this move unless you know how to teleport cancel. This move punishes a lot of moves, you know, that are kind of far reaching. It's really helpful to be able to use this back 2 to punish certain moves that none of Scorpion's buttons can, you know, punish otherwise. But if you're gonna throw it out in neutral, you need to know how to properly cancel this thing and hit confirm it. So, you know, same thing, go into training mode and have the opponent randomly block so you don't know what's coming. Yeah, that was a quick example of me just doing it really quickly. It definitely takes way more practice, and, you know, the same applies for Scorpion's forward 3, but again, that one's really hard. I don't expect you to do it unless you want to put in hours and hours of training, but same thing applies. Just set, you know, Sub-Zero or whoever to randomly block and just practice. Now I'm going to be going into, you know, Scorpion's optimal combos with and without Air Synblade. Scorpion's optimal combo technically outside of the corner is this right here. This would be the max damage you could get. If you have them cornered, you can do like 495, and with the spin, you can get 506, I believe. I recommend, though, if you're tired of just doing the typical, you know, 4-3-1-1 into spear, I recommend actually, you know, starting to practice the forward 3 into stand 4. It's kind of the middle ground where you can hit it really consistently. So it will look like this right here. You know, does a little more damage compared to, you know, the stand 1-1 after. And I just recommend practicing that. I would call that Scorpion's optimal, even though you can get 2 forward 3s into 1-1. You just have to be against bigger hitboxes. That one right there works on all hitboxes. It just is a little more tricky against the female characters. All right, for Air Synblade, there's actually a really tricky optimal, but I'll show you what to do, but I wouldn't recommend doing it online. It's really hard, but this is what you should be aiming for if you're, you know, gonna play with Air Synblade. Right there. That's all you need to practice. I think that is probably, you know, just learn that combo. It takes some time. And, you know, just stick with that. If you want to know the optimal, here it is. It's going to take me a couple tries, so I'll just cut to me getting it. So that right there does a little more damage. That does 343. If I did the exact same thing, you know, without it, it's only 327, so I don't recommend trying it online, but you could technically learn a better Air Synblade optimal. All right, from now on, I'm going back to without Air Synblade, because I believe if you can do Air Synblade combos consistently, you're like far enough along in skill that you can figure out all the new optimal routes in the corner for yourself. But for everybody else that doesn't use Air Synblade, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what the optimal is for Scorpion, you know, when you get people in the corner. So this is the combo I would use if the opponent had their back against the wall and, you know, was being held up by that extra gravity the wall gives you. It's not too hard. If you want the easier route that I'll use in, you know, bad connections, I just do this sometimes because you can guarantee it more often. like right there, except you would end either in, so that's why I didn't end it. You can either end in this to keep them cornered, or this if you want more damage, but you do lose like the corner control. So now I want to talk about anti-airs. There's two I want to show you. One for when they're jumping in at you, and the other for when they're crossing you up, jumping over you. So this is what I would do if the opponent was jumping at me. Right there, simple and easy, you know, does 25%. It is stand 1 into stand 4 into spear, and then you can add on to the combo if you want. Now, if the opponent is jumping over you, you actually want to do this combo right here. Now, that's the simple version, right? So that's what I recommend you start with. You're going to hit him with the down 2, catch him with the 1-1 into spear. That's what I would do if, you know, you wanted to learn the advanced option. So you're going to down 2 them, catch them with the down 1, then do forward 3 into spear. It does more damage, but it definitely is, you know, harder to convert. So I think that's all I need to say for the combos. Now I'm going to be going into some techs and, you know, tips and tricks with Scorpion that I like to use. So my first tech is, you see that interactable back there. Any interactable on the map can be tick throwed by Scorpion. He only has one way to do it though, and that's off his back 1. So if I do a forward 3 right here, it whiffs. So I did forward 3 and I canceled into the interactable. But, you know, say I wanted to come up here and instead of doing this whole string with the back 1, and I wanted the extra damage, I could do back 1, cancel into the interactable, and even though Sub-Zero is blocking, I got 20% damage. At a higher level, they will start to duck, you know, like they'll let go of block because they know you're going to tick throw them into it, but it tends to work. And by the way, if you don't know what a tick throw is, it's basically on block after a button. So like if you special cancel one button into a throw, it'll still hit the opponent if they're blocking. The next one that you see me use all the time, but you know, I figure I should say it again, is micro ducking is really good with Scorpion. You can do it on a lot of his moves. So if the opponent is going to try and punish your negative frames with a high attack, so that's a throw, maybe a stand 1 jab of their own, you know, anything like that, you can micro duck and get a full combo punish. It'll look like this. So I got a full punish right there because after my negative frames, which was stand 1, which is -2, I immediately quickly crouch like that. The throw whiffs because I'm technically crouched, you know, even if it's for, you know, a microsecond, like a micro duck. And then I stand up and I hit 1-1 for my full punish. You can do it with anything like that. I won't go into the full combo. You'll see a lot of people do their down 2s this way. This is why you get hit by down 2s on people's negative frames, because they do this. They just wait and get their full down 2 punish. So, all right, you've probably seen me use this one, and it's definitely like good at all levels of play. You know, at the highest level of play, people see it coming, but they'll definitely get hit by the overhead over and over. It is Scorpion's jump-in game, which is, I think, one of the best in the game because you have so many options. You have 4 different options as Scorpion. So if I'm jumping in on sub, I get, you know, a whole ton of options. I can jump in right here and go into the low, you know, keep myself safe if he blocks it by teleport canceling out. I can go in here, go for the overhead for the mix. So again, sub immediately on that jump in has to think, are you going to go low or are you going to go overhead? And, you know, most people will choose just to eat the overhead, which is still like, you know, a free good bit of damage, and you can get them multiple times a match, so it adds up. But for Scorpion, you get the added benefit that in your jump-ins right here, people will start to try and anti-air you. You get a teleport to whiff punish. That's amazing. That's his third option. And if you realize every time you jump in, you're getting down 2'd or they're sticking out, you know, anti-airs, just go in like this, get your full combo off of them. Lastly, you know, the 4-way mix-up, you can come in, hit the stand 2 into grab instead. They are so scared of the overhead or low, they're sitting here trying to guess like, oh, I got a whole block, make sure I block one or the other, that you can oftentimes, especially in high pressure situations, get people with the grab. Especially, I do it when they have like below 6% health in like a tight match, because they almost always think you'll go for the overhead for the free, you know, quickest move. They've been blocking the low the whole time or waiting to block low. They'll sit overhead and you get a free grab. So I was talking about earlier that these buttons right here are your best buttons. I cannot stress this enough. You gotta get out of the habit of using this button a lot, unless you're gonna plan on micro ducking, like you read that they grab on all your negative frames. Use this button, but use it more as a quick punish, And then also, you know, like, just throw it out there and, you know, mix up between this and this. But do not, I mean, you can try it, but it's not going to work long. Don't try and do stuff like this, where you shoot, like, 1-1, and then you immediately throw your poke. Because you're technically negative, and if they have, like, you know, brain cells eventually, they are going to see you going for this and just stick out a mid right away after your 1-1, and you're getting full comboed. So what I actually recommend is just make sure you're using these two buttons right here because you're plus. So if I go like this, I can hit that down 3 if Sub-Zero hits any button, especially stand 2. I can hit down 3. And this covers, like, you know, down 2s because they think you're going to go, you know, stand 2 and a grab. It covers everything. So this is your main strike throw pressure tool. Obviously, also, you get the plus frames right here. Throw that in sometimes. You know, it becomes a mind game of its own afterwards because you can go for the low. You know, you can go for a grab, all those sorts of things. The next bit of tech with this class, which I think is the best class, is don't be afraid to use this amplified spear move to finish combos. And here is why. Let me turn off gauge refill. So if I end my combo this way by, say, you know, going like this, wait and look at the meter and look at the spear right now. So this whole time I'm getting, you know, enhanced grabs, all of that. I still have burning spear, still have burning spear. As soon as I get meter, look, my spear goes away after I got another bar of meter. So I think it's really worth it to spend. Plus, you are basically restanding him here in the corner, and they cannot use any wake up options to get out. So right now, I could do a low, I could do an overhead, I could do a grab, all those sorts of things. And obviously they're going to think, oh, you're going to do the forward grab because you have the amplified spear. That opens you up so much for still a free 12% here, you know, free like 7%, 8% there. It's just really good all around. I should also say, yeah, because they're reading the grab on that and, you know, your spear is about to go away anyways, or the amplify, it's also great to get this crushing blow because a lot of people are just mashing down 2 to wait for you to try and get that high damage grab. Another tip I would give, you know, a little tech, is when using the down 4, this is not a bad move. I love this poke actually. It pairs really well with Scorpion's back 3. So if I get the sub out of the corner right here, if I just throw out the down 4, I can dash up and go into overhead. And if it's blocked, it's super hard to punish or, you know, come back in if you're sub. If I hit that and he blocks, let me actually put him to blocking. Even if he blocks it, I'm still in good range. So I go like that, and you can catch people so often going like this. So just down 4, overhead, down 4, overhead. So on block, on hit, it tends to work. Obviously, the overhead can get picked up by like characters like Liu Kang, so be careful. Some matches I wouldn't do it because, you know, Liu's gonna full combo you by picking up this back 3 out of the air. But yeah, this is a little bit of tech, and it gives you some good use for your down 4 as Scorpion. So when you have Fatal Blow and the opponent has Breakaway, this is the best time to use your forward 3-4 Crushing Blow, because I have Sub-Zero right now set to break away fast. So this is as fast as possible that he can break. It is guaranteed every single time. Just watch this. Right there. And it's going to do absolutely so much damage for, you know, guaranteed hit into KB. This can be done at mid-screen as well. You know, 458, that's what it's going to do. It looks like, oh, he's cornered, that's why it's hitting. If I do it right here, it's still going to reach out and hit him. So, you know, if you want like an easy way that, you know, unbreakable 458 damage, just guarantee the round and you get that forward 3-4 crushing blow, make sure you're canceling in a Fatal Blow. On the topic of Fatal Blow, never, you know, do Fatal Blow after Spear. So if you're doing this and you end up amplifying Spear even once, never use your Fatal Blow. It gets scaled into nothing. You were better off just going like that and getting it because, yeah, it's not even worth it. No matter how big the combo is. If I go like this, say, you know, it's already at this much damage. It's already at 20. It only did 353 damage. And that is compared to this right here, 354 damage. So you didn't waste any bar. You didn't even have to do a combo, and you did more damage than that one with the spear. So never do that. Instead, always do it after teleport. So if I just do this right here, going forward with teleport, this is super basic. You know, takes no skill at all. You don't have to worry about dropping. it's going to do 416. So yeah, always do it after teleport. You can get way more creative with that and get way more damage. That was just an example. Only use it after teleport and combos. All right, a big one that people, you know, point out that I do, and it is super important at any level of play. It catches people in the top 500. Not everybody, but it does. Is the Scorpion reset that hits for like 60 something % damage if you have Fatal Blow. So what you're gonna do is spend both bars in the combo, and after you hit Spear and amplify it, just do a stand 2 and then go into the low into the Fatal. So this is what it would look like in a combo. Right there. So that'll do like 60 something % damage, obviously, because you know a Fatal Blow, what the damage does. So that's a full reset, and it can win you rounds, like huge comebacks. Think about that. You could have like 10% health and the opponent could have 55, and you win the round in one sequence of moves. So yeah, just make sure you're going for this reset after, you know, you amplify the spear, hit stand 2, and then go into your low, and hopefully they don't block it. So this right here would be Scorpion's air to air. You can kind of do whatever you're comfortable with, but just make sure you're throwing out the stand 2 when you're in the air, or the jump 2. So like this. It's great. You can get a lot of damage from it. I recommend that when you're going for the air to air. And I just remembered, if you are facing a wake up jumper, you want to be using this, you know, like forward 3. So watch what happens when, you know, Sub-Zero tries to wake up jump on me right here. See right there? He tried to wake up, jump over me to make my move whiff. It's Scorpion's only move that's going to do that. If you use Scorpion's back one instead, this is going to happen. He's going to jump over you like that and get a full combo punish. So yeah, just make sure you're meeting being like when they're getting up off the ground, always using forward 3, because if they wake up jump or, you know, hit buttons, it basically covers everything besides wake up attacks, but they were going to hit you anyways. And yeah, that's my complete Scorpion guide. If I missed anything that you have questions about, leave them in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll have Road to Rank 1 out next, and I just appreciate all the support. I'll see you guys later.